Good morning, friends and family, YouTube worldwide. Welcome back to my channel. First and foremost, I want to give thanks to the Most High for allowing me to give you this content. Today is the best day of the work week. Today is payday. Today is week 6 of the 100 envelope savings challenge. All right. Don't forget to pay yourself first. That's the number one thing that you want to do. You want to pay yourself first. Pay yourself at least 15 to 20% of your weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly salary. All right. Disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor. I am just sharing what works for me. Here we manage our money wisely. Here we create a budget. Here we save first and spend later. Here we set financial goals. Here we invest early. Here we avoid debt. To summarize what I just said, here we earn, save, and invest for the long haul. Here we are building a solid financial foundation. Here we make sure we are fully funded weekly, bi-weekly, and monthly. As the head of the money management team, I want to go over the 3 golden rules of managing money. Golden rule number 1, don't spend more than you earn. Golden rule number 2, plan for the future. Golden rule number 3, help your money grow. All right, friends and family, so we are in week 6. This is the first week of February. And you know February is a short month. Last month, we had 5 weeks. That's why today is week 6 of the challenge. All right, friends and family, so I just turned the page over on our big calendar. So here we have our make sure that we are fully funded, water bill, oil bill, mortgage, phone bill, insurance. All right, friends and family, I am not fully funded for this week. I'm not going to lie to you. I am not fully funded for this week. Why? Because last week was my last week working at FedEx. So I only worked 4 days. I took Friday off because I had to take care of my clients, when it comes to tax season. So I'm super busy. Today, earlier, I just finished shredding some paper. I still have some old documents from, old clients. So, we are only allowed to have documents for 3 years. So anything from 3 and 4 years that I have is getting shredded. All right. And what else I was just talking about just now. And oh, yes, I'm not fully funded. I got paid for Friday because I took a day off Friday, so I'm good for Friday because I took a personal. But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I was getting out early. I was getting out super early, so I wasn't making my hours, right, that I usually, make. And usually, on a daily, I always, work overtime. But last week, because of the snowstorm, Monday, I was able to leave early, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I was able to leave early, so I am not fully funded, for the week. But I always keep 3 to 6 months of living expenses, of my expenses in my checking. So I'm good. It doesn't really, it matters, but it doesn't really matter. It's not like, like I'm in a desperate situation. I'm not. I could always make that up. I could always put extra later on because once I go back to work and I start working out overtime, then I could, put in a little extra. So that's why it's good to have 3 to 6 months of living expenses in your checking. So that way for situations like this, right? You want to have 3 to 6 months of living expenses in your checking for that emergency that might pop up or creep up at any time. You know what I mean? So that's why you want to always be prepared. That's what we preach here on this channel is preparation. We do everything on purpose. We save, and invest, all right? And talking about investments, here we are going to put $25. Well, I made my deposit already, so I have $150 in my Roth IRA, and we are only up 41 cents. All right, because we have $150.41. All right, friends and family. I don't have my calculator here, but I'm pretty sure that 5 times 25 is supposed to be 125, right? But I have 150. I have 150 and 41 cents. All right, friends and family. So we are going to mark that we are that I already made my deposit of or I think I put an extra 25 for next week. I'm not really sure, but we supposed to have 125 because 25 times 5 is 125 if I'm not mistaken. 25 times 6 is 150. So I'm ahead of the game. All right, friends and family. So we have $25 in which we are going to put, which I deposited already, and 25 is going to go towards our recoup. I still have, I didn't go to the bank yet. I still, collecting money. I'm still making these deposits. So, and I have it here in my binder. My binder has, I told you last week, my binder has a compartment. It has different compartments. All right, so I'll put it in this compartment here. All right, so let's see how much we have. If I'm not mistaken, we have 20, 40, 60, 80, 1, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So we have 125. All right, so we are going to put $25. 25. Do I have a 20? I should have a 20 somewhere here. But this thing should be in order. Actually, I don't have a 20. I do. There it is. All right, so 25. So now we have 150. All right, so it's 150. All right, so we have, it's week, I'm bugging, it's week 6. We have 6 weeks because that's why I'm bugging. I'm like, yo, why we have 150? Okay, last month we had 5 weeks. Today is week 6. Okay, my apologies. I think earlier I said that, last week we have 5 weeks for, last month we have 5 weeks for January. This week we have 4. So we have 5 last month. Today's the first week. Today's week 6. All right. So we have 20, 40, 60, 80, 120, 30, 40, 50. All right. So we have 150. So this is going to go back into the compartment. All right. We go back to the compartment. We put the 25 for the recoup, which is this. And then we put 25 that I deposited into my Roth IRA. All right, friends and family. So we have 150.41. So the Roth IRA is beating the recoup. All right. But let's see how gradually, as the weeks go by, we're going to see how that's going. All right. So we're also going to do the challenge, the $1 challenge. All right. In which every week we're going to put the amount of money of what that week is. All right. So it's week 6. I should have looked here, because this would have told me week 6. All right. So we are going to mark that week 6, and we are going to put $6. So that means we're going to have a total of $21 in our envelope, our binder. All right, friends and family. We put 6, and we're going to have 21. All right. So we can put this to the side. We took care of that already. And we are going to put $6. We could also mark this. Week 6 is done. All right. Week 6. All right. And then we are going to put $6. All right. So as you can see, as I showed you last week, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, and now we're going to do week 6. All right. And we are going to put $6. There we go. $6, okay? 5, 6. So once we're done with this, but at the end of this year, we are going to have week 52 is going to be the last week for this. And then next year, we're going to continue. We're going to do with week 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56. All right, so we're going to do it that way. All right, friends and family, so we're going to have $1,378. Okay. And we're going to put it in this slot here. It says week. Every slot has a week, it has a number. So we're going to put it in the slot for week 6. All right. There it is. Right. Patience. That's all it takes. It takes patience. It takes patience and it takes discipline. It takes patience and it takes discipline when it comes to saving money. All right, friends and family, you always want to have that safety net. You always want to be ready. for whatever pops up, as I said earlier. All right, it's very, very important. So we are fully funded. I'm gonna put fully funded because I already have the money, 3 to 6 months. I'm a year, of living expenses. All right, I do things different. All right, so we have water bills fully funded, OU bills fully funded. I'm going to tell you something when I'm done doing this. Insurance is fully funded, phone bill is fully funded, and the mortgage is fully funded. My OU bill was almost $900. My OU bill was $870 something dollars. They gave me OU earlier this week, actually late last week, and I saw the bill. I was like, wow, because it's cold. It's cold here in New York, and we are using, the boiler is just constantly turning on. So yeah, but that's the reason why when I don't get oil during the spring, because now we have oil for February, and then the end of February, they're going to give me another one for March, and then the end of March, they're going to give me another one for April, and then the end of April, they're going to give me for May. So we have March, April, May. So I have another 3 months of oil bill. All right, so that's the reason why I always save from May, June, July, August, September, October. I always save those months, so that way I'm ahead of the game when it comes, when they start, charging me for oil. I'm ahead of the game. Okay. So friends and family, thank you for tuning in. I really, really appreciate all of you for always tuning in, taking your time, to, see what I'm doing here, what we do here, what we save and we invest. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Have a blessed week. Next week is going to be Valentine's Day. All right. So I will speak on that next week. I hope, you treat your significant other well. All right. Friends and family, have a blessed day. Have a blessed week. Peace and love.